Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is G. Thanks so much for stopping by. On my channel, I like to create videos to expose the shady, manipulative, and predatory practices of MLMs. MLMs are multi-level marketing businesses, but they're also known as direct selling, social selling, network marketing, commercial cults, and my favorite, I don't know why it's my favorite, but it just is, legal pyramid schemes.
In MLM schemes, there can be hundreds or thousands of members worldwide, but relatively few earn meaningful incomes from their efforts. While many MLM practices are legal, the FTC has been investigating multi-level marketing companies for decades. And remember, just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's okay.
In today's video, I would like to take some time to discuss what the heck is up with so many teachers joining MLMs. I'm actually a teacher in real life, and I will be honest with you. I almost joined an MLM. It was a skincare MLM called Rodan & Fields. I was approached first to be a customer, but after I was a loyal customer for a while, I was approached to become a consultant. I spent a fair amount of money on Rodan & Fields products during the 2-year time span that I was involved with them. If you want to hear that full story, you can check out my video where I talked about my MLM horror story with Rodan & Fields. I'll link it somewhere up here. The reason that I mention this though is because the person who tried to get me to join was actually a mentor teacher to me. I didn't think much of it at the time, but after reflecting on my experience and researching the experiences that others have had, it became clear that teacher MLMers are nothing new, and they're actually quite pervasive and blatantly unethical. I've compiled some different posts that I want to share with you today to talk about the different reasons why teachers get lured into becoming MLMers, but also to shed light on why it's so manipulatively dangerous for teachers to become MLMers. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be updated when I post a new video, don't forget to click the little bell. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The first item I'd like to show you is a Facebook post that went viral in 2019. This post got national coverage, was featured on the news, and as of now has 280,000 likes on Facebook and 222,000 shares. It's written by a teacher who at the time had recently left the profession. She actually lists some valid reasons in her post, which is why I think her post may have resonated with so many people. The dark side to this post, however, is that she used the publicity and notoriety that she received from this post in order to recruit people to join her new business, Beachbody. In my opinion, the reason this post was probably even written in the first place was as a recruitment tool to get people to join. Buckle up because it's going to be a long post, but we're going to go ahead and read through the post in its entirety before I share my thoughts at the very end. The filter comes off now. I think it's easier for people to believe that I left teaching because of the lousy pay. It was easier for my former HR director to believe it was because I found something that I was more passionate about. Some would allow them to assume that. Let them be comfortable in their assumptions because your truth may lead to discomfort of others. Well, I'm not some. That ain't me. Let me tell you why those who ooze passion for teaching are leaving the occupation like their hair is on fire. Number 1. The old excuse, the kids have changed. No friggin' way. Kids are kids. Parenting has changed. Society has changed. The kids are just the innocent victims of that. Parents are working crazy hours, consumed by their devices, leaving kids in unstable parenting/co-parenting situations, terrible media influences. And we are going to give the excuse that kids have changed? What did we expect them to do? Kids behave in undesirable ways in the environment they feel safest. They test the water in the environment that they know their mistakes and behaviors will be treated with kindness and compassion. For those well-behaved kids, they're throwing normal kid tantrums at home because it's safe. The kids flipping tables at school, they don't have a safe place at home. Our classrooms are the first place they've ever heard no, been given boundaries, shown love through respect. Cue, the kids have changed. Number 2, in the midst of all this, our response is, we need to be 21st century schools. One-to-one student technology. Oh, okay. So forget the basics of relationship building and hands-on learning. Kids already can't read social cues and conduct themselves appropriately in social settings. Let's toss more devices at them because it looks good on our website. During an interview, one division asked me, "How are you with technology? That's important to us." I hear Bobo the chimpanzee is pretty tech savvy. I consider myself pretty great with kids. Number 3. And since our technology approach doesn't seem to be working, teachers must need more training. So take away 2 planning periods a week and render that time utterly worthless when it comes to adding the quality of the instruction. Just this year, a new math assessment was introduced for K teachers. We had to attend a training on a school day, time missed with students. Then it took us 3 weeks to administer it, one-on-one to 21 students. Such a waste. All of the info I could have told you about them without taking away from precious instructional time. Number 4. Instead of holding parents accountable and making them true partners, we've adopted a customer service mindset. I've seen the Facebook rants about attendance and getting the letter. Well, here's the thing. I can't teach your child if he's not in school. I was cussed out by parents who wanted to attend field trips but missed the 3 notes that went home, and when they did attend a trip, sat on their phone the entire time. I've had parents stand me up multiple times on conference days, then call to tattle on me when I refused to offer an after-school option. I've had parents tell me that I'm not allowed to tell their child no. 5. My mental and physical health was in jeopardy every single day. Knowing that your kids need and deserve more than they're getting. Sitting in one meeting after another begging for more support, only to be told don't lose sleep over them. When you love your kids and are passionate about your mission. These messages tear you apart. Watching them come in, dirty clothes, chaos at home, and knowing they need more than you can give them in a classroom of 21 with less and less support, multiple languages spoken, several different disabilities, it breaks you. We become emotional eaters, we become couch potatoes to zone out, we become so short-fused that our families suffer. So, that's why. I finally realized you can't save them all. You can't even help 21 if you aren't healthy yourself. If your mental and physical health aren't a focus, you aren't even good for the 21. I left my retirement fund. I paid sick leave. 46 days left on the table unpaid. I didn't leave for better pay. I decided to start with my one at home and work to help other mamas be able to show up for their ones at home, because I really do believe it starts there. I found something that allows me to impact the environments that those 21 go home to. I found something that I can make an impact with that doesn't leave my tank empty, rendering me useless for others. I may have left the classroom, but I'm still advocating for those kiddos. It just looks different now. And just scrolling through the comments, you can see there's a lot of people who are showing support to this post. So a lot of what she said really did resonate with a lot of people. Just to briefly give my thoughts on it, point 1 about, parenting having changed, society having changed, and kids just being a byproduct of that environment. Yeah, I can see her frustration with that, but at the same time, there's nothing that we can do to change that home environment, and that's just something that we have to, as teachers, know and understand. The only thing we have control of is our classroom environment. That's the only place that we can focus our energies on, because that's where we're going to change things for these kids, especially ones who have severe behavior issues where they're throwing things or doing other overt behaviors in class. Those are the students who usually need the most love and attention and support and understanding. And as teachers, it's just our job to find a way to be there. And then number 2, her point about technology, I think a lot of jobs, not just education, are going to be telling you, hey, how are you with technology? That's important to us. That's just the day and age that we live in. Also, being in an MLM, isn't it just, oh, I'm on my phone, working from my phone all the time? You're still going to need to be good with technology. So I don't really buy that reason. Number 3, the point about teachers not knowing how to use technology, so they need training. It's just part of the job description with teachers. You're going to have new trainings that you need to go to every year. That's just par for the course in teaching. Yeah, if you don't like having to learn new things and be refreshed on things, then I guess you're making the right choice. Her point number 4 about not holding parents accountable. Obviously, a lot of people resonated with that fact and a lot of people feel that way, but it's also just up to how you handle it as a person and as a professional. If you're not afraid to just use data, use actual facts to talk to parents about things that have been happening and keep them accountable, sometimes it just needs to be done. But at the same time, we have to remember that parents are people too. I'm not a parent, but I can empathize and I can think to myself, man, if I was a parent and I had 35 million things going on, I would hope that my kid's teacher had a little bit of patience with me. Obviously, not trying to say that teachers should put up with anything, but I think there's a fine line that you can draw where you give yourself boundaries, but also hold other people accountable. Number 5, mental and physical health declining. Yeah, I think that makes sense. There's a lot of stress in teaching and that does take a toll. However, it's just so important to try to find ways to take care of yourself and find outlets so that you can be healthy. And if it just, in the end, teaching isn't for you, that's okay. You can go on to do other things. But my problem with this teacher in particular is that other thing that she went out to do was join an MLM. And I just have a serious problem when teachers or former teachers go join MLMs, because I think they have a lot of advantages that make them a lot better at signing up new people just by virtue in the fact that they know more people, because they've taught many classes over the years, so they know tons of students and their parents and coworkers. After this post, she actually started taking applications for people who wanted to work with her in Beachbody, aka people who were going to be in her downline. Next, I want to share this post I found about a teacher advertising their MLM in the staff lounge to other teachers. Teacher in my school is promoting an MLM/pyramid scheme to the staff. What should I do? I realized today while reading an odd all-staff email that the in-school meeting that this teacher was sharing with the staff was for an MLM-style product, as the way she worded it raised all sorts of red flags. Sure enough, when I did my research, the product is part of a scheme run by owners with previous failed MLMs and legal issues. Our school is in a very remote and rural area, so I'm worried that there's just not a lot of awareness to these kinds of shady business practices. I'd like to say something to keep other staff members from potentially getting conned out of their money. But this is only my first year at the school, and being fresh out of college, I don't know how much weight my words will carry with this kind of thing. Wow. Honestly, I know it sounds horrible, but the best thing for this person to do would be to just keep their head down and not mention it, if that person really wants to end up working at the school. Because first-year teachers, you really don't have any rights. Basically, you're on a probation period until you get tenure, and you don't want to do anything to rock the boat. So it's really sad that advertising for your MLM and trying to recruit on school properties is okay, but you just have to be really careful if you're a first-year teacher. After you get tenure, it's a little bit easier to tactfully share your opinions on things. The next post that I want to share with you talks about how a teacher subtly drops some hints for the seniors in her class. Math teacher low-key tries to recruit classmates for her MLM. So I'm in high school pre-calculus, and today was a normal class period. We had a quiz yesterday, so there were the usual questions of when she would finish grading. As teachers love to do, she gave all the excuses as to why she was busy yesterday, driving her kids places, tutoring a kid from another district, and cleaning to prepare for a party she's hosting tonight, Friday. This last one was what people were mildly interested in for obvious reasons. Maybe just because we sometimes forget some of our teachers have social lives. Easy to forget it happens when you don't have one of your own, lol. Some kids ask basic questions about what it's for, and she says simply that I'm repping an activewear brand. This sets off the alarm bells in my head because I've been subscribed to this sub for a while now, and the word rep is pretty heavily used in MLM lingo. Kids ask some more questions now because this teacher's pretty friendly with us, and she gives us details like the name Zia, which is apparently an Arabic word. Kid who moved from Dubai, I think, confirms no, it's not, and how they're half the price of Lulu with the same quality. I'll admit that's an enticing offer because I wear leggings on occasion, and I used to have a pair of Lululemon ones that cost around $90 but were comfy as hell. She then says the money line. If you want to be a rep, talk to me after you graduate, because I think it's technically illegal for you to work under me right now. So now I know it's an MLM, but I'm quiet normally so I don't say anything, but wow, that kind of offer coming from a friendly adult to a class full of seniors is dangerous in my honest opinion. I just hope she doesn't get sucked too far into this hellhole money-wise she is a nice person. So what's really sad there is, even though this teacher probably is a really nice person and probably doesn't realize that what she is doing is really predatory, it still is. There's a power imbalance between a student and a teacher just holds that higher position of authority and respect and credibility. So for an adult teacher to be mentioning things like this, there's going to be some students that just because they trust her and respect her might actually want to take a chance on it. It's just a misuse of that position, and I find a lot of issues with that. So the next post I want to share with you also shines light on how teachers can be predators to their students by trying to lure them into their MLMs. Multiple teachers and administrators of my 18-year-old male school are abusing their positions to recruit seniors into a pyramid scheme. The title makes it sound like I've made up a conspiracy theory, but it's not a complicated situation, at least to explain. I'm a senior at a very bad public high school in the Deep South. It's the kind of place where if you forgot to stand for the pledge, you could expect a teacher to yell at you about sacrifice in front of the class for 10 minutes. It's predominantly white and there is a huge racism problem. Teachers are mostly awful, class sizes are giant, and so on. 2 of my teachers work for a pyramid scheme that sells smell oils. They always have the oil sprayed in the classroom. I hate it so much. And they actively try to sell and recruit to students in my class during class time. Seniors, basically all of us 18 or about to be. At least 4 girls in the school have signed up to sell this stuff because of the teachers. I have gone to the vice principal about this multiple times and was basically laughed at and ignored. I spoke to my classmates about this and just found out that the VP sells it too, along with other teachers and office people at my school. I don't care about them disliking me, but I know these pyramid schemes can ruin lives, and I don't want them doing it to teenagers. I think it's disgusting. My parents don't care, mostly not involved in my life, but I tried anyway and won't do anything. I'm assuming there is some mechanism to report them to a higher educational authority, but I don't know what is the best way to do it, so there's no retaliation and so it actually makes a difference. All I care about that they can affect is my college. I just want to make sure they can't somehow interfere with it. Sounds crazy maybe, but a lot of my teachers seem like the people who would do this if they could and someone gave them a reason to. Thank you. This post really reminded me about how MLMs are commercial cults. The vice principal, probably the principal, and the teachers are all in cahoots to sell these essential oils and to condone it and be okay with it, and to entice these young, inexperienced kids who are their students, the students that they've known and watched grow up, the very people who are supposed to be there looking out for those students and making sure that they succeed are the ones who are going to be involving them in something that's going to set them back. It's just really abhorrent. The reason why this reminded me of cult-like behavior is because of the cognitive dissonance that's happening here. These teachers and administrators, in the back of their minds somewhere, they have to know that what they're doing is wrong, but they're all in it together and letting each other get away with it, to the point where they're gaslighting this student and probably making them feel like there's something wrong with them, when in reality they're the ones who are abusing their position of power. The last story that I want to share with you today is about a 18-year-old girl fresh out of high school who was sucked into an MLM from one of her dance teachers and is now going after one of her previous dance teachers to try to get that person to join her MLM. This poor girl is barely 18 and apparently was recruited by her dance teacher. Are there no limits to their awfulness? Hey, blank, long time no talk. I hope you're doing well, and I'd love to come take one of your classes sometime soon. One of my dance teachers inspired me to start my own business with Arbonne, and I think you'd really love the products. All of the teachers and parents at my old studio love it, and I've shared with so many people my age and with my family, and I'm going to be doing our 30 Days to Healthy Living Challenge soon. It's a great way to start off 2019 with being more healthy and getting yourself to where you want to be. Let me know if you'd be willing to learn more. The receiver of this text message said, "Oh, hey hun. I'd love for you to come take one of my classes, but in good faith, I can't support Arbonne or any MLM scheme or product. Those types of companies cause too much pain, misery, and debt for so many people, and I can't support them. And then the original Hun responded back and said, "Hey, thank you so much for responding back. Of course, I would love to come take a class from you. So just know that I 100% respect where you're at always. I too thought that network marketing was a pyramid scheme and was very skeptical. But what I found was I was really just uneducated on the industry. I'm so glad I did my research because it's already changing my life. Both of the products and the business. Just super respect you, so wanted to share, but always respect your opinion." I'm happy to share with you a video that talks a little bit more about this particular company if you'd like. It's a 40-year-old company that was recently named #1 on the globe for health and wellness. There's never any pressure to buy. I just like to get the word out. You may know somebody who could benefit. If not, never any pressure from my end. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday. And the recipient ends the conversation like a boss and says, "I appreciate that, but I'm well versed in all of these MLM schemes. I have very strong feelings against them, and I really hope they don't burn you like 99% of the people who have joined them. I highly suggest you do research outside of the company." Many of these MLM companies flip the script on all their bad business practices to keep people involved thinking they'll do well from them. I don't wish anything but the best for you, but I have strong convictions about never joining or purchasing from an MLM style business. This is some great reading on why these types of businesses don't work unless you get in when the company begins. Unfortunately, Arbonne was started in the late 70s, and the people who make the money joined decades ago. I wish you the best, but please don't contact me regarding Arbonne. Thanks. Hope you had a great holiday as well. What is really evident here is that this young 18-year-old seller of Arbonne was ready to go with the objections and ready to go with those lines on what to say exactly to the person at the moment, even though right from the get-go, the recipient was very clearly not into supporting MLMs at all. The 18-year-old still kept pushing it and still trying. The fact that she was recruited by one of her dance teachers is horrible, because again, when you're a teacher, you just have that position of respect and authority. You're going to seem more credible, and people are going to be more willing to believe you when you say that you have an opportunity for them. Whether you believe it or not, teachers make a huge impact in their communities, and over their careers, they can touch hundreds, if not thousands, of families, depending on what grade level they teach. Most teachers are educated, compassionate, organized, and great at following frameworks and systems. It's not hard to see why teachers would be targeted as prospective MLMers. However, statistically speaking, this choice will not pay off for them. According to a study that was done, 31% of teachers report monthly earnings between $101 and $500 from network marketing, while 59% of teacher MLMers surveyed reported making less than $100 a month. It's not a secret that teaching salaries in the United States are very low, not to mention there's a lot of times a lack of respect for the teaching profession, even though a lot of what we do is very emotionally and mentally taxing. In my opinion, a lot of teachers across the country are not fairly compensated for their time and for their energy. I think those are some other reasons why teachers can be targeted for MLMs, but teachers are uniquely positioned within their community with a wide base of prospective customers and recruits. They can pull from their coworkers to their current or former students, to the families and parents of those students, to their professional contacts, and all of that is in addition to the friends and family that they know in real life. They will inevitably get some people to say yes to becoming their customer or to joining them in the business. Even worse, some of these teacher MLMers are specifically targeting kids who are fresh out of high school or college. The generation of students who are right now finishing up high school and finishing up college are growing up in a time that's really unprecedented and scary. There's not a lot of job security or hope of a promising future, which makes it really predatory for these teachers to go after them, especially when coupling that with their lack of financial experience and real-world experience and a lack of awareness about what MLMs or legal pyramid schemes really are. These kids don't even have a chance to pursue something real and establish themselves as professionals and work towards a future for themselves when the people who are in the positions of power that are meant to help them are the ones that are hurting them and taking advantage of them. Please tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you have any experience with a teacher MLMer? If you are a teacher, what are your thoughts on all of this? I hope you all enjoyed the video today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!